Hey ladies and gentlemen, Stephen here from the Redolessence channel, and I want to thank you all for tuning in. Welcome back to my channel. It really means a lot to me. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a closer look at the newest release, or one of the newest releases from the company Dua Fragrances, and this one is called Invasion of the Barbers, so stay tuned. Now, this fragrance was released in 2018, so just this year, but it is inspired by a fragrance that came out back in 2005, the year in which I graduated high school. And that fragrance is called Invasion Barbar from the house of Parfum MDCI. Now, that is a very popular company, very upscale and luxurious and niche. And the thing about that company is that their fragrances come in these bottles that have a bust on the top, like a ceramic bust of a figure, kind of looks like a Roman statue. So the one that comes with the bust, I believe, is $375. The one without the bust for 100 ml, if I'm not mistaken, is about $250. So it is quite an expensive fragrance, whether you get it with the bust or without the bust. And here we have a 1 ounce, which I think sells for like $60 or something like that. So it is within affordable realms. Now, Dua makes two kinds of fragrances. They have what are called inspired expressions. That's exactly what this one is, which is modeled after a more popular niche fragrance, sometimes designer, but most often than not niche. Usually very hard to find, like you have to go to Harrods in London, or you have to travel to some duty-free shop in Russia or something like that. So the perfumer slash creative director Massam Raza scouts and sources some of the most exotic and hard to find niche fragrances in the world, and he recreates them, and I think they did a fantastic job with this one. So I'm excited to tell you what I think of the smell of this, tried and true, well-known fougere scent. But let's start things off with this simple presentation. So the presentation for this one is pretty simple. It says Invasion of the Barbers by Dua on the front here. They actually changed up the graphic a little bit, which I really enjoy. On the side, it says Invasion of the Barbers. It has this really cool cap, kind of looks threaded. It doesn't click into place, but it is a snug fit. I do think that that's an improvement over the older caps. And then the distribution on the atomizer here is really good. Let's go ahead and continue with the smell. Now, as soon as you spray this on, you are going to smell something that smells, 95% similar to the original or the inspiration, which is Invasion Barbar. And this one, of course, is named Invasion of the Barbers because this is a barbershop type of a scent. Fougere fragrances kind of have that vibe, or they evoke that feel about it. And this one does contain lavender, but in addition to lavender, it also has cardamom and vanilla, as well as a violet leaf note, which I think makes it very classy, very refined and sophisticated, and very gentlemanly. The lavender note in here is such a gorgeous note, and it is one of the most natural smelling lavender notes you can put your nose on. There's another fragrance by Cologne. It's called Cologne pour un homme, and that one also contains a lavender note, probably the most natural smelling lavender that I've come across, but it's also, I guess let's call it a soliflor, because that is the only note that I pretty much smell in that scent, and then it dries off very quickly, and it's very linear. This one is non-linear because it does shape and shift and change as it progresses on your skin. So it opens up with the lavender, and then it gets powdery, and then it dries down to something woodsy, all the while retaining that gentlemanly shadow, let's call it, from some of the more volatile notes that you get up on top. Honestly, truth be told, this is a gorgeous scent, and I might be a little biased here. It's a very nostalgic and sentimental scent for me. And I don't own Invasion Barbar, but I do own one that smells very similar to it, which is by Histoire de Parfum, and it's called 1725 Casanova. It smells very similar to it, and that's actually the scent that I was wearing when my daughter was born. So whenever I smell this, it reminds me of that other scent, which reminds me of the birth of my first and only child. So it is a very sentimental scent for me. You know, I love wearing it. I've been wearing it a lot around the house, and I have even worn it to work once or twice, and I've always gotten a really positive reception, you know? There's just this classy, refined elegance about it that I really do enjoy, and lavender really evokes that. The cardamom makes it spicy yet powdery, and the violet leaf really grounds it and keeps that level of maturity going well throughout the development of the scent. I think that this is a gorgeous composition, and if you can't afford the original, or if you just are a fan of classy, gentlemanly barbershop fougere kinds of scents, I would definitely recommend you check this one out. I absolutely love it. Let's go ahead and finish things up with my overall assessment. So as far as the uniqueness and the overall smell is concerned, of course this is not a unique scent because it is a clone or a rendition of a more popular niche scent, but the overall smell is honestly one of the best I've ever gotten my nose on. If you're looking for grade A scents in this category, I would recommend Sartorial by Penhaligon's Christensen, New York. I would recommend 1725 Casanova by Histoire de Parfum, and of course the one that this one is named after or bottled after, and that is Parfum MDCI Invasion Barbare. Fantastic scent, honestly best in class. In terms of the longevity, you're going to get 8 hours with this one, so stellar longevity. Projection was really good for about the first hour of application, and it started to sit closer to the skin, but it doesn't really become a skin scent, and I think that's for two reasons. One, the concentration. It's extrait de parfum, so you're going to get less alcohol, more aromatic oils, which is not going to make it as loud because it's really the alcohol that allows it to be diffusive on the skin, but it's going to last a longer time. So it's going to be a bit more subtle, but you're going to get better longevity. And also, it doesn't have a lot of more volatile citrus notes in here, so it doesn't smell citrusy off the top. I get the lavender and the violet and some of the green nuances, so just keep that in mind. It's not going to be as loud, but it is going to last a very long time. Versatility on this one is fantastic, through the roof. You can wear it all year round. You can wear it in the wintertime because of the performance. You can wear it in the summertime because it's not as loud and it doesn't have some darker, richer, resinous, smoky notes about it. It's just very light and ethereal, but it has some notes that really sustain themselves throughout the entire longevity of the scent. I think this one though is geared more towards a mature man, so if you're perhaps a little bit younger, a high school student, I probably wouldn't wear this one unless you are super mature and you can totally pull this off. Maybe you go to a private school and you're always dressed in like a shirt and tie, then definitely. But if you're a little bit more whimsical, you like to play around, you still make jokes, then just wait until you hit college for this one. Presentation on this one, they upgraded with a new cap, but I still think it's a pretty simple presentation. My final verdict on this one is, as far as the smell goes, it's one of my favorite smells ever. I love this. I purposely chose to wear 1725 Casanova during the birth of my daughter because I think it's such a, when I was thinking, which scent in my collection conveys the most that I'm a father. I'm finally a father, and it was that scent. And this one just reminds me so much of it, so it might be a little bit biased, but take what I say with a grain of salt. Don't take everything a reviewer says at face value. You always have to go out there, trust your own nose, smell it for yourself, and I can tell you guys, this is one that is not going to disappoint. It smells fantastic, just like the original. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was my review of Invasion of the Barbers by Duo Fragrances. If you own or have tried anything by this company, I'd be curious to know what you think. Leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to rate and subscribe for future videos, and that includes top 10s, reviews, giveaways, unboxings, special guests, and a lot of other fragrance-related content. Thanks again for watching. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care.